All right. Hang tight, everyone. In the meantime, if you want to go ahead and do some introductions here in your chat. Okay, hold on, because I'm echoing. One moment. All right, we are still getting set up here because the YouTube link for the software we were using, we were actually in it and on it, so I'm trying to wait on my guests. I'm having a bit of a echo, so please excuse me on that. All right. Okay, we are streaming on YouTube, it says, but I lost my guess. So hold on real quick. I think this is them coming in. So as I was saying earlier, please go ahead and put your information in the chat. This is also a networking session, so we'll get started here in just a moment. Please forgive me for the delays. All right, my guests still have not. It's really hard to handle incoming messages. So if you're sending me messages, I can't address them right now because I'm trying to troubleshoot. So just give me a moment. All right, Nicole, welcome. We're still trying to get Angel back on. It kicked us off when I tried to start the other session.
Good morning, everyone. That's okay. That means we're gonna have an amazing Saturday. A little technical Saturday. It's okay. A little technical. drama. But good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm excited to see everyone. Or hear your amazing voices. So we'll start soon. Welcome everyone.
I do want to say this real quick. In the chats, we are live streaming to YouTube as well. So please share this. Nicole, can you help me out with a sound check?
Yes, ma'am. Testing, can you hear me?
I
Lotta,
can
is it
hear.
you?
I can hear. If I can get, I'm getting echo. So
I wonder, is everybody on mute? Because I'm
no.
getting echo too. I'm getting feedback. If everybody can make sure their phone is on mute or your devices are on mute, I think that's better. I think I lost the echo. Lotta, can you confirm? Oh, no worries. She said, no worries, no worries. Miss Cat, thank you for joining. It is an amazing Saturday. This is going to be great, awesome, and amazing. Whenever you have a little hiccup in the road, this is what it's all about. So hopefully you're interacting in the chat, right? Because that's where it's at. Like I'm Dr. Seuss, I'm rhyming. Yeah, so make sure you're dropping your location, your name, who you are, what you do, represent yourself. This platform is exactly for that, to learn, to educate, to grow, and for networking. So make sure you do that. You should leave this call not just with some education, but meeting someone virtually, taking something away that you can add to your business. If you are on this call, you are in the trucking business, doesn't mean you are behind the wheel, but it means you have something to do with making sure the wheels go around, right? Whether it's a service or a product that supports our drivers, but either which way, you're here to support greatness, and we're excited to support greatness as well. I'm looking forward to our guest speaker. We went from one platform to the next, and sometimes that gives it a little bit of problem. But in the meantime, again, please make sure you are networking in the chat. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and happy Saturday. No worries, Miss Cat.
Nicole, do you still hear the echo?
No.
Okay.
Let's see. Where is everyone located? Can we drop that in the chat? Could you let us know your location geographically? For those of you in Atlanta, we got something really good for you outside of Atlanta as well, really soon. All right, look at that. I think we're about to. Ooh, Phil. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome, Greensville. Maryland in the house. All right, all right. Alabama. Cat, I can't even say that word. Alabama. Thumbs up. Is it? I think so. All right. We got Alabama, we got Maryland, South Carolina. Any Atlanta people? That's where I'm at. ATL. Any Atlanta people? Let's Oblique. I went to camp there. Oblique. Okay, Jennifer, you went to camp there when you were a kid. Ah, okay, that's so cool. That is so cool. Dallas. Oh, okay, Dallas. Dallas, Texas, or Dallas, Georgia? Because you know there's two. You got to clarify. Oh, there you go. I was just saying that, Jeff. There is definitely a Dallas, Georgia. We're going to give credit to Texas, but there is, and I repeat, a Dallas, Georgia. awesome, everyone. I'm so excited about that. Man, we are good. We are covering the state this morning. Alabama, okay, two for Alabama. No, Dallas, Texas. Okay, Dallas, clarification now. We need that, and we need the Dallas clarification. Texas is representing in here. We got Georgia representing in here. Alabama coming through heavy. Okay, I love that. Yes, Alabama folks, we are up this morning. Y'all are an hour behind us in Atlanta, I think, which is crazy because it doesn't take very far. It's not very far to get to you, but very interesting. I love it. I love it. All right, so we keep. That's where we are. We representing in the South for the most part, and then Texas people through. Texas people through. We're gonna give love and shout out to Texas. Awesome. We appreciate y'all for tuning in from Alabama, Texas, Georgia. Now, last one. I'm just making sure y'all Twitter fingers are working this morning. I want to highlight my OGs, right? I love anybody who's been around for a while. I always talk about OG AAWTA members, right? That means you've been with us shooting in the yard, like Drake would say, right? You've been shooting in the yard with us. If you are an OG member, and that includes our leaders, our supporters, please make sure you put I am a member. Just drop member in the chat, right? Let's see who's a member in this chat. And don't worry, guests, this is just like the church. We're going to call you out too. But OG members, if I can have, okay, Jennifer, thank you very much. We got members on here. Identify yourself, members, because we're going to ask you guys to show some love when it's the guest turn, right? So we're just asking you if you are OG member, you are shooting with us in the yard per Poet Drake. Please make sure that you, Mama Donna, the hour of the service is coming. I didn't forget. Okay. I think she's on here too. I think she's dropping gems on here. Appreciate you. All right, members, we thank you. So guess it's your time to shine. I think we got quite a few guests on this morning. All right, I think I'm going to drop my camera on until we can get so you can see all the animation and the excitement. I got a light blue AAWTA and a dark blue AAWTA, but hey, I'm representing. Okay, guests. Thank you, Kat. Katrina. Thank you, Katrina. Welcome to our call. We are sorry that it started a little late, but guess what? We get to identify who you are today. All right, Tamika Jones. We got Tamika Jones. You see, she is a member in the house. Members, please shout yourself out. Yes, we also want to know who you are, right? This is the church service, so we're not going to actually stand up yet and introduce who you are. But if you are a guest, thank you so much. We want you to identify yourself so we can ask our OG members to love on you virtually. All right, right? So we want to know who you are, how you heard about us. Guess that was right. Awesome. Any more members on the call? All right, because I see you. I see y'all on here. Awesome. Let me see what is just checking on. Guest, awesome. All right, love it. New member. Oh, welcome, new member. Awesome. New members are fun. I love it. Just checking. Who else we got here? Guest members, come on and announce yourself. And we're going to keep it going. And we are going to start some introductions until we can hit play.
Yeah, let's do that. Did you want me to record? I don't know what's going on right now.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to go ahead and record. We have so many amazing guests and new members. This is going to be your time to shine, ladies and gentlemen. That's the part about virtual Saturdays, power plug Saturdays, is we are plugging into one another. All right. So I said, guess that y'all were. Hello, everyone. We're talking about welcoming new members, welcoming guests, welcoming our OGs, right? Hey, OGs, we see y'all. This can't happen without you. And one of the things that we absolutely love about this platform, right, especially on a Saturday, man, we've worked hard, we're re-strategizing, we're planning for what next week, but we get to get in this platform right here virtually and meet somebody new. We get to take away a few nuggets from one another, tap into what we may need and apply it for hopefully the next week. Hopefully it's somebody new that you're meeting. Okay, it's somebody new that you're meeting that you see that you can apply their product or service to your business at that, okay? So this is the part that's really, really cool. We're going to talk a little bit about who's a guest, who's a member. I appreciate you for those of you that have put that into the chat. And we're going to introduce ourselves, all right? Just so we can get the party started, y'all. And so I saw a few guests, and I'm going to call on your names. Welcome, welcome. This is part of development. We get to introduce ourselves. And one of the first guests that I saw is Miss Katrina. Hello, Miss Katrina. Miss
Can you hear
Katrina?
me?
Yes, welcome, welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Miss Katrina. Tell us about yourself. We saw where you were coming in from, but share some more about you and your business, as well as let people know how to find you.
Well, I'm trying to get started in the business. I currently work from home in customer service for CRST Trucking Company.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Wow.
ma'am.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
it's Opelika, Alabama.
Oh, Palika. See, listen, I am a Florida girl, and I was like, that don't seem like Opalaka. But oh, yes. And somebody said they went to camp there. So clearly I'm the only one who hasn't heard of it. So
Yeah. It's right
welcome
right
to
next to Auburn.
Oh, okay. Oh, so now I'm familiar. Geographically, I just placed it, y'all. I just placed it. Awesome. Well, welcome to today. Make sure you drop your information in the chat. We're going to virtually love on you just a little bit more, call you out a little bit because we're happy to have you. We're just going to keep going with our guests, and then we're going to go
Okay,
with our
thank you.
presentation. You welcome and welcome to AAWTA. All right, we have another guest. Let's see who else is the guest. Veronica. Hello, Miss Veronica. Can you come off the line really quickly? Introduce yourself.
Um, yes, hello. My name is Veronica. I got invited by my sister Tamika Jones.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. Um, I currently work at Walmart and have my own business as credit repair and getting into um doing taxes, and I'm looking at interested in doing trucking also.
Awesome. Awesome. Welcome. We are so excited to have you. Welcome to Saturday Power Plug. We want to just love you virtually. So all my OGs, we saw two guests here. If I missed a guest, that means you didn't put guests in the chat. And now's your chance in 10, 9, 8
I'm a
to
guest.
jump off, introduce yourself. Ah, wonderful. Oh,
My name is Cheney Carlton.
introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Cheney Carlton. I'm in Maryland. I was invited by Lotta. She's been a great wealth of information as I'm learning this trucking industry. Um, so I'm an insurance agent with Potomac Insurance Exchange, and I am happy to be here. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Drop information in the chat. We are so happy to have you at Saturday Power Plug. Any more guests? Going 5, 4. Awesome, awesome. We are so excited. I'm here to introduce to you somebody that is super excited to come on and share some information to make sure you what? Know your load, everybody. I would love to introduce you to Angel Lovelace. We're excited. We started a little late, but this is well worth it. And we'll continue to do introductions at the end. OGs, make sure you love on our guests. Angel, it's your time.
Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing this morning, afternoon, wherever you are, depending on the area in which you reside. So I am Angel Lovelace, the owner and founder of The Trucker's Assistant out of Memphis, Tennessee. What I do in the trucking industry is that I help owner operators and small fleet owners start, sustain, and scale their trucking companies. So what we're going to talk about, as Ms. Nicole stated, we're going to talk about knowing your load. So we're going to start with some foundational stuff, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the framework for knowing your load. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Please bear with me. I've been having technical difficulties this morning, but we're gonna get it. We're gonna work through it. Let me know if y'all can see my screen.
Not yet. I don't know if it's a system issue or what's going on because I'm getting even some other yeah, other blurbs and stuff too.
Let me try something else on my end. Hold up 1 second.
I'm getting low latency and all those other things. There you go.
You got it.
Hmm.
All right, cool beans.
It's still, there we go. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, so I just got to move some other stuff out the way, y'all. This, all right, we gonna just roll with it. So know your load. A load planning framework for profitable positioning equipment. All right, so the agenda today, we're gonna, of course, I've already done my introduction, so it's not a whole lot more to learn about me, but I will go to the slide and let you guys read more about me. We're gonna go through the foundational pillars of profitable load planning. We're gonna talk about market analysis, working smarter and not harder. We're gonna also talk about the reason you're here, the load planning framework. The reason we have to have the foundational pieces is because it takes us into the framework. So I just wanted to add the foundation before we get into talking about framework so that we're more knowledgeable about how we should be responding in this freight climate, if I make sense. Then we're going to go ahead and do a Q&A and answer some questions. So here's my introduction that I put together on the slide. And if you got a little, moment, you can go ahead and read through it really quickly. Just some stuff that I didn't mention is that I've also worked with a few other organizations. I used to train over at Swift Transportation. I've done a few seminars over at the Florida Women's Business Center, as well as been featured in the TUV magazine and was honored with the 2022 Best in Memphis Business Award for, my impact in trucking. All right, so now we're going to talk about foundational pillars of profitable load planning. So the start of anything before you even get to booking loads, looking at rates, before you even get to doing business in your business, we want to talk about the cost of operation. It's going to break down your fixed costs, your variable costs, your daily costs, monthly costs, weekly costs, and yearly costs. We're going to also take a look at your cost of operation. I mean, your per mile cost of operation. And we're going to also use previous data to help us set those minimums, those low rate minimums. I know a lot of people are complaining or basically a little upset with the market that we're in. But truth be told, the market fluctuates. That's what it does. And I've been in trucking 18 years, so it's been doing it the whole time. And I'm sure it was done before I got into the trucking industry as well. So what we have to do is we have to get comfortable in the ebb and flow of the marketplace. Another thing we're going to discuss is setting financial goals. This is very important, and it's one of those things that we don't really think about until it's too late. We're going to talk about equipment type. We're going to talk about home time and driver preferences. So let's go up and talk about cost of operation. As I stated previously, the cost of operation is the first thing you basically get to when you're getting ready to start doing business. So I'm sure y'all can see this screen. I'm about to come out of this real quick, and we're going to go into this cost of operation tool. Can you all still see the screen? You see the spreadsheet come up?
Yes.
Okay. So the cost of operation, this cost of operation tool is going to break down your expenses. So everything that you have in an expense report, you want to be knowledgeable before you go into booking your very first load of what it costs you just to move the load. Now, we're not talking about profit at this point. We're talking about just to get in the truck and crank it up. All right. So as you can see, just to go through it really quickly, we have all of our expenses on the left-hand side. Then we got yearly costs, monthly costs, weekly costs, daily costs. The average miles that we typically run is about 10,000 miles a month. And then we got the per mile cost of operation. Now, the average monthly miles can vary, but that's based off of a driver running an average of 2,500 miles a week. So what we do is we import our data here. Let's just say your truck payment is 1,200, and so on and so forth. Your trailer payment is 450. Your insurance is 1,250. So I'm not gonna go through all of this for the sake of time, but I want you guys to see what this looks like, so that we can be informed when we're making these decisions on how we're going to price our freight. Well, our freight business, how we're going to price our services. So monthly cost came out to $13,460. Weekly cost, this is what we use most of the time. Weekly cost when we're load planning. This is very important. So it's going to cost us $3,106.15. So another one that's just as important is your daily cost, $4.42. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going too fast. $442.52. Your per mile cost of operation comes out to $1.35. I know that may not be realistic because if you're in trucking now, who's in trucking now? If you own a trucking company currently, let me know you currently in trucking. You own a truck or you're a dispatcher and you got some drivers. Let me know. Okay, nobody's currently in trucking or dispatching. All right.
We
Okay.
have a mixed group here. I'll look into the chat here. You could also use your dang it, I can't think today. Your reactions. So give a thumbs up. We've got two tapping in right now. Kendra and Jeff currently in trucking and dispatching. We'll just give them just a few seconds to respond because I know these buttons today.
Okay. Yeah, my screen was minimized. I couldn't see. Okay. So if you don't mind me asking, can they unmute too, Miss Lotta?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, come on, guys. You get an
Jeff
A.
is here.
Come on, Mr. Jeff. How you
What's
doing?
happening? I'm fantastic. How about yourself?
All is well. Thanks for asking. Let me know how much is your cost of your per mile cost of operation right now?
One of my drivers, his excuse me, cost to operate is $1.97.
$1.97. I figured that came in a little low. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a dry van, a
Drive in.
reefer?
Yep, drive in.
He almost priced out then, huh?
Pretty much. We've been averaging around 225 to 230 with the
Yeah.
lows.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, and I have something similar to what you have here, so I'm loving seeing this. So this is fantastic.
Awesome. So I will have this for you guys as well. I'll be giving this away as a free bonus just for coming to the class. I appreciate y'all for coming in. Miss Kendra, I see you unmuted. Hi,
Yes. Hi, I'm well. How are you all?
I'm all as well. So you have a truck or you have drivers?
Yes. I have. I run flatbed. I'm a flatbed carrier. So yeah, I'm seeing, like you said, basically my cost of operation, at least for one of my drivers, is like $1.70, not $1.70.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all because I know a few years back the average cost of operation per mile cost of operation was $1.68 a mile. Now with inflation, as of 2020, it has gone up. The average I want to say is right at the $1.90 mark. So and with the rates, being where they are, especially for dry vans, a lot of guys are struggling just to make ends meet there. So that I just want to let you all know that this tool that I'm going to give you guys free of charge will actually allow you all to, analyze where you are, where can you make cuts. There's a few things you can do to offset costs. But of course, that's another topic for another day. So we're gonna get back into our presentation here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in on that and participating.
Go. Okay. I also put for those who are newer to the business, what cost of operations, just I want to make sure everyone's tracking what's cost of operations mean when you're hearing these numbers. What does it mean to your owner operators, to your drivers, to your business owners? Because those may not be one and the same. So please check your chat for additional resources.
Did you want me to expound on that, Lotta?
No, you're good. Go for it.
Okay, cool. All right. So you want to use your cost of operation as a baseline for setting rates. That means that we cannot haul freight that doesn't meet the cost, because outside of that, we're running our business into the ground. And I know that there's a lot of companies out there that's actually running below their cost of operation, and that it just doesn't make sense. I feel like, well, personally, well, it's not even personally, but professionally, we have to know these numbers so that we can make more informed decisions when we're in the marketplace. You can't just tell me, well, this is what I'm paying, and I'm not hauling that. Let's keep it moving. Thank you, but no thank you. Let's talk about financial goals. Setting realistic short-term and long-term goals. To be honest, I'm gonna tell y'all something that I used to do when I was working with carriers. Um, I used to write out an affirmative statement. So it would go something like, I am so happy and grateful now that blank blank carrier grossed $7,000 this week. Doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. So I would start my week with that. And you'll be amazed that when you set the intention into the universe, how it will reflect. Because what you put out, it has to come back to you. So even though I've set the goal, the financial goal, I've also set an intention and made it a little more spiritual as well. So did that cover that, as far as setting financial realistic goals? That basically covered it?
I love
Any
it. I want to add just 2 cents to it, and I don't want to take away from your presentation, but affirmations are powerful when we state things in the positive. There's two ways to say things, and if you kind of old school, you might have remembered grandma or your parents or such saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And you really got to realize that in communicating. So there's different ways to say it. You're not softening, but it's the intent. So if you're always putting out there in the universe that you shouldn't, you aren't, shouldn't, look, I can't even get all the words out. But the things you shouldn't do, the things you can't do, the things negative, 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 you are actually attracting the negative. But when you're saying the same thing, like again, that glass half empty, half full mantra that most of us are familiar with, when you're saying it in an affirmation, in a positive way, in a building type way, you're saying the same thing. Instead of saying that you lose this much money, this is the money you gained. Instead, you're saying you're in the hole, this is your deficit. Okay? And you're not trying to just make pretty words and hype people up, but and I just really felt that like that, Angel. You got to speak it from that positive, because you got to show people where to go. I'll shut up.
Absolutely. No, you good. And I appreciate the conversation and the input back and forth. And let me know I'm not here by myself. And I got some people. See, the preachers say, can I get an amen? And I ain't no, if I can get an amen somewhere, that's cool. That works for me. Another thing I would like to share is I have this other spreadsheet that I utilize as far as setting financial goals, but this is more on the long term, setting financial goals. So I used to call it a business forecast. Can y'all see this here?
Yes.
All right. So the business forecast, I don't know if you guys see it. I have revenue expectations for the month of January through December. If you look at the forecast, we put in 20,000. The goal was $20,000 a month up until October. October, we added a second truck. So our goal increased to 40,000, right? So if you notice within the software, we basically met our goal except 3 times. well, the revenue goal, no, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So this is basically what you guys want to start doing. You want to set goals. Without a goal, you can exactly, plan to fail. We have to like actually plan every portion of what we're going to do in our business. Make sense? Amen. Somebody say
Amen. Amen.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I need some noise. All right.
Absolutely.
So now we're gonna talk about equipment. So I heard the young lady say about equipment types. So I'm gonna pull up here. I don't know if you guys use or are aware of free resources, but DAT trend lines. I used it a lot before I got into buying trucks and dispatching trucks. So DAT trend lines will basically show you what the average rates are for different equipment types. So the most popular equipment, I just had a brain fart, guys. I'm sorry.
You're good. It's coming up a little delayed. It just came up though.
Yeah, I think my computer is
I know
going
it's
through some
storming
things.
out this way too, so that might be what's going on because I live in the boonies. And so, does anyone even still say that? The boonies? Y'all know what the boonies are? But DAT trend lines?
So
Okay,
trend lines,
DAT.com
yes.
trend lines. Confirmed.
Right, right. All right. So when it comes to van, you can see all the industry trends for the previous week. If you guys see on the screen, it shows van load to truck, van spot rates, flatbed load to truck, flatbed spot rates, reefer load to truck, reefer spot rates. And you can see the changes in how the market is fluctuating week by week. You also have, I love DAT, y'all, so I'm gonna talk about DAT quite a bit, and I'm gonna recommend DAT a lot because that is my personal favorite, my professional favorite. That's what I tell everybody because they have, when you're booking your loads on DAT, why not use DAT versus Sonar? Sonar is a good software to use as well. However, I find that the rates that I was getting at the time did not match up with the Sonar software. So I just started using the software that I was the analyst with DAT because that's where I'm booking my loads. So it only made sense. The data balanced out. It made sense. So this is also a resource when it comes to looking at or deciding on what uh what market you're going to get into, what division you're going to serve. Another resource that I have is DAT. I done got ahead of myself, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm way ahead of myself. Let me slow down. That's equipment type. Oh, home time. Let's talk about home time and preferences. Your drivers have to get home. They got to go home and they got to see their family. You can't run them like robots. I know everybody may be hyped up about autonomous trucks, but until we get autonomous trucks, we got to get the drivers home so they can rest and be with their families, y'all. You can't run them like they, and they have clocks stuff. Got them. So my rule of thumb with balancing home time and profitability is always go home under a load. If you're going to get your driver home every week, if he wants to go home on weekends, send him home under a load. That gives him time on Friday, get him home under a load, and he can deliver Monday. And Monday, that sets you up for a Monday delivery and helps boost your revenue for the very next week, if I make sense. So never go home empty handed. Never, ever. If your driver has plans or has a doctor's appointment, that needs to be communicated and in your driver handbook, how to go about putting in time off, so that you can plan accordingly, if I make sense.
Can I ask you something
Um,
real quick too on that, Angel? Because I know some, and again, coming from that insurance side, some brokers, I'll keep it very broad open, but I think most of us know who we're talking about, will have trackers. And can you kind of address that just high level about just if you have a broker that has a tracker and notice that the equipment is sitting, um, what's your response and how do you handle that?
you said high level. I'm thinking just common sense, tell them the truth. The driver going home for a 34-hour restart. I mean, I mean, the biggest thing about brokers, that's the reason they call 30, 40, 50, 60, 1,000 times a day, because they're big on communication. Communication is all we have in trucking, because we can't go out and touch any and everything. Everything is done online and over the phone. So the biggest thing is within a portion of the trucking makeup, it's communication. So regardless, now here's the thing: you want to keep the driver tracking. Sometimes drivers give you a hard time about tracking on their phones. What I would do is, you have your EOD links. So we ran Samsara. We also ran Motive. I send the broker the Motive link, the tracking link. Problem solved. If he called me and I'm having dinner with my family, hey, driver is such and such, and we're still on target. Now, when something changes with the load, if the driver's gonna be late or if something happened, communicate that with the broker ASAP, and don't lie, be honest to an extent. You know, it once you've been doing this thing so long, you learn how to use your words. So, but the biggest thing is communication. Just communicate. That's all.
Now that's great. And I mean, this is like you said, spot on. It's like you ain't gotta lie, you ain't gotta hide. And communication, even silence is a form of communication. And that's really usually what you don't want to give because then assumptions come in. So thanks
Exactly.
for addressing that.
No problem at all. All right. So now we're going to go into market analysis. This is my favorite part because I love analyzing. I pay attention to all the details. I love details. Market analysis, work smarter, not harder. Believe it or not, when you know what's going on in the market, it makes your job easier. It makes planning easier. So using DAT, truck stop, and internal systems. I'm gonna show you guys DAT, some screenshots from DAT. We're gonna identify some cold and some hot market. We're gonna talk about seasonal and regional trends, rate trends, and future charts. We just kind of went over rate trends, but we're gonna run through this pretty quick. I'm gonna show you all a few resources as well here. Load to truck ratio. So I love DAT trend lines. We're gonna start with identifying hot and cold markets. All
As
right,
that's
so
look, oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I'm just going to add again, I feel like I'm the translator. For those who are newer, hot and cold is pretty much like, we talk about with, like, remember that game Marco Polo? It's like, are you near? Are you far? Remember, in transportation, this is about positioning. So you want to be ahead of the game. You don't want to come once something's already picked up. You don't want anyone else's leftovers. You want to position you and your truck and your companies and everything accordingly. And that when you do your research, it shows. And so I'll yield back to you, Angel.
It's all good. Thank you so much. So that's what we're going to talk about: identifying hot and cold markets. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So if you notice where it says market conditions index, it's right here in the middle on the left hand side. So if you notice on the blue side, blue, light blue, kind of green is yellow, that's where it's getting cold. So what does it mean when a market is cold? That means that it's a dead zone and there's no freight there. And if I'm going, that means I need to charge more to go, or I need to stay away from it. Okay. That's what that means. So when we start to get to neutral, that means, oh, it's okay. I might do pretty well in this market. When it's hot, it's like, let's go. Give me all the coins that's going to that area. That's what that means. Let's go. Let's get it. So I'm sorry, y'all. My personality is
I
showing.
love it. Keep it going.
So when we get to these hard markets, so if, as you can see, we got Mount Vernon, Illinois, prior business day. This is the day before what the market looked like in Mount Vernon. So it's showing out of the Evansville market. If you see where the little orange locator thing is, you see that it's yellow. And in this vicinity of it, did I say it right? I think I may have mispronounced it.
No, you got it right. Vicinity.
Yeah, okay. All right. So
She from Memphis, but she don't talk like Glorilla, right? I'm messing with you.
Hey, man, stay, man. So, all right. So when we get to looking at our high market map, y'all, we're gonna pay attention to what's around the area that we're trying to go into. So we're trying to go to Mount Vernon, Illinois. I know that if I'm leaving Memphis, Memphis is a hard market. Why? Because it's blood red up over here. All right. So this is basically, Memphis is always a great area to come out of with a van, with a dry van. So going up into Mount Vernon, I see that I'm going into a neutral area. What does that mean? That means that my negotiations could go either way. It can go bad or good. I can get plenty of money, or they can be lowballing up in this area. Let's say I was getting ready to go into Florida. If we look down in Florida, Florida's dark blue. I know once I get over there, they're not paying anything to get out of there. I'm nothing. They're not giving you an arm, a leg, a finger, or a pinky, nothing. So if I'm going to Florida, before I get there, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna negotiate a higher rate just to go over there. Why? Because I know freight is cheaper coming out of here. So that's what being able to analyze the market does. It helps you to make informed business decisions before going into dead zones. So I'm gonna tell y'all something else that DAT did, and once they did this, it was over with. This is just for me. My negotiation strategies just went through the roof. Boom. So they allowed you to be able to type in where you are, your current origin, and your destination. Once they did that, it was a wrap, because now I know where I'm going and where I'm coming from. I know that I'm in a hard market. I know I'm in a very tight market capacity. I know ain't no trucks here and there's plenty of freight. You need me. So guess what? I'm charging top dollar to come out of here, right? I know I'm going into Chicago. Bam. Not only am I going to charge you top dollar to come out of here, once I get to Chicago, I'm going to charge you top dollar to come out of Chicago. This is getting good. I don't know about nobody else, but I like the same. When I can see hot markets on both ends, they make it all well worth it. So I'm going to show you guys one more thing.
And this is, I'm seeing here, it's beta. I actually never seen this. So is this the DAT1 subscription? Which level do you have?
This was, my bad, I was clicking that before. This was the DAT Pro. I want to say, but
okay.
It was I also had access to RateView. Now, it's a higher subscription. You're gonna pay more money, but you get what you pay for. Okay, I'm gonna say this slow so I can say it some more. You get what you pay for in trucking. You get the cheap load board where you only spending $40. You're not gonna get analytics. You're just gonna be picking loads. You won't be able to make informed decisions. So I spent more money access when I got access to RateView. It changed the game for me, because now my ability to negotiate a lane has been 10x. Now I get on the phone with a broker, and you're not just negotiating with anybody, you negotiating with somebody with information. So I'm negotiating with a broker on this load. Check this out. Look at your screen. From Elgin, Illinois to Michigan. We're going to talk about this load, and I see a year's worth of data on this lane. I see the lowest rate that it has ever paid. I see the median rate, and I see the highest rate. Who finna get over? Sir, I'm sorry, not sorry. So let me take it up a notch. Then RateView also offers the ability to type in everything, and it's gonna give me the rate that I should quote the broker. This is done for you load planning. Come on, somebody talk to me. Somebody give me an amen. Lotta, you got me?
Amen. Amen. Time is money. Money is time.
I'm trying to tell you, let's get it. So you've got to have access to the data, analytics. This makes your job so much easier, and I can't preach that enough. But we gonna Keep it pushing, keep it moving. All right. Seasonal trends, how produce, holidays, and regional freight shifts affect planning. So, of course, we all know watermelons come out of Florida and start at the bottom and work its way up. Watermelons start coming out when? And at the late March, right? And it's gonna work its way all the way up. We got produce season start in the Southeast and in California. So that adds more freight to the marketplace, and we should see an uptick in freight rates, right? Because there's more freight entering the market. Rate trends and fuel surcharges. We've already talked about that too. The number one thing about inquiring about fuel surcharges, because brokers have them. Brokers have them. And I just want to throw that out there. As an ex-broker, I was taught if they don't ask about the fuel surcharge, don't ask, don't tell. And that's as an ex-broker. That's what my mentor taught me. If they don't ask, don't tell them. So when you're bidding on these lanes or these loads, ask about, okay, does that include the fuel surcharge? How much is the fuel surcharge? Sometimes in your rate confirmations, you'll see the fuel surcharge. It'll be labeled. All right. So now let's move in, because for the sake of time, we got load planning framework. Active listening. Listen to what they're saying and what they're not saying. Sometimes you can hear the sense of urgency in a broker's voice when you're talking to them. Ask the right questions, uncover hidden details. What is it? A first come, first serve? Is it an appointment? What time is the appointment? So that you can assess how long you're going to be sitting on this load. A 600-mile road run, you shouldn't be sitting on for 2 days. I can deliver a 600-mile run next day. Anything between 5 and 650, I can have that off next day. But if I got to sit on it longer, I got to charge more, right? So these are things that you have to take into consider. Where are you currently in origin and destination? So we have to consider those things. That's what we just went through, origin and destination, as far as hot market maps, pickup and delivery times. We just went over that, the total miles loaded and empty. I don't mean no harm, but if you got a deadhead 200 miles to get to a load, 500-mile trip, and it's only paying $1,000, that's not a good load. So that type of stuff matters too. The rule of thumb for me is keep my empty miles on any given load under 75 miles. My absolute top is 150. 150 is my top on empty miles. If I have to go over just to get out of the area, that's just, I'm forced to do that at that point. But just in normal everyday planning, set a measurement, set a cap at 75 miles. My top is 150. Anything over that, I'm forced to do it, right? Day of the week. Believe it or not, if you up in the Northeast on a Friday, it can get kind of hard to get out of there on a Friday. If I'm if I'm booking a load on a Wednesday out of Memphis or from wherever, it's 1,300 miles, and it delivers on Friday at noon to Massachusetts. Oh, I'm charging you to go up here. All of these questions are pinpoints where you can add more freight or add more as far as cost to the load. So, and I'm calling this stuff out. He tell me, oh, it delivers Friday at noon. In Massachusetts, sorry, I'm gonna have to add an additional $200. Why? Because it's gonna be hard to get out. You gotta take into account, it's gonna take them 2 hours to unload. That's 2 o'clock me getting out. I'm behind an hour, everything closed between 3 and 5. How am I gonna reload? This is framework. All right, terrain, back roads. It takes longer to travel back roads. And heavier loads in mountain ranges burn more diesel and more wear and tear on your truck. We already went over deadhead miles. Weather outlook. If it's storming somewhere and my driver agree that he'll go, or it's getting ready to be a storm and he agree that he's getting ready to go, depending on the impact, I'm gonna charge you to go for the storm. I'm sorry, that sounded messed up. I'm gonna charge you for the storm. But
It
I
is what it
am.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
People got lives, and I mean, it's dangerous. It's got traffic. The time clock is something definitely during those challenging times of traffic and storms and everything that people tend to get in trouble with their hours of service because they think just because they didn't count the clock, accordingly, that their clock is not being counted, but there's there's some, little wiggle room with that as you learn about personal conveyance and such. But for the most part, these are considerations you got to make off top and as dispatchers, drivers, and the communication with your drivers. If your drivers aren't feeling good, that's a consideration because they can't keep pushing it, automatically.
Right. Absolutely. Risk reward calculation. And we basically just touched on that as well. Credit ratings and payment terms. Make sure you checking especially now, because brokers are scamming. They are scamming big time. I get an email every day with about a broker being scammed, somebody using somebody else MC number, double booking loads being stolen. Check credit rate. If you get I don't book freight with at gmail.com. If you got to at Gmail, I'm not booking a load with you. You got to have a company's name behind it. That's my rule of thumb, and I would suggest you guys do the same. And check their credit and payment terms. Make sure that they pay within 30 to 35 days. You got to stay on top of those agent reports to make sure that your factoring company gets paid. So I'm gonna go ahead. It's so much more to talk about, and I can talk about this all day long. However, I'm not. So we're gonna just go ahead and go into Q&A discussion. There was a lot to take in, and it went by pretty quick, but we on time limit. So thank y'all so much for tuning in, and thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for all this knowledge. And please share with everyone the way they can get in touch with you because this is definitely something you're wanting to have access to Angel and her resources and even just her mindset, as you could just see in that quick tidbit there that she already knows. She knows the questions to ask. She knows the regions. She's been in every seat in trucking. And so those are the type of alliances that you need, that you want, and from different perspectives. You can have them from multiple people. More information doesn't counteract from current information, but you still have that due diligence at the end of the day to see how input affects your output. So just because someone said so, you need to be able to vet that. You need to be able to check it, because the example I use a lot of times too is you don't know what's in my pocket. Sometimes I don't know what's in my pocket, but just you don't know what's in your pocket, and you have to use that same mentality when you're working with other people. Sometimes when you're speaking about someone's reserves, they might feel like reserves is as long as it's going clear, it'll it'll get me there, and that's not a long-term goal. Just because you got it clear now, but you get hit with all those um non what do they call it, EFT charges and stuff, non-sufficient funds charges and everything. That's not how you want to do business.
Right.
You don't always want to operate from the point of an IOU because soon that's, CLOSE. And so, you got to just make sure that you have that. So please share with us in the chat as well so people can capture it, Angel, and out loud for the recording, how they can best reach you.
I am Angel Lovelace or the Trucker Assistant on all platforms. The Trucker Assistant will be the business. Angel Lovelace on all platforms. You can also email me at admin. I'm putting it in the chat now. Admin at the Trucker Assistant.com. I think I misspelled it that time too, low.
Hey, it's one of those words that it's like obey, just you guys. Hopefully, you enjoyed this. I mean, like you said, she is definitely a blessing, and thank you so much for sharing your insight, your time, your resources with us. Please make sure you follow up with Angel to get a copy, as she said, of the spreadsheet. Again, just so you can have her in your phone, as I call it, the mobile ATM. Your phone should be making you money, not the other way around. And let's go in with the live Q&A. And then we also like to just, in courtesy, just give thanks and, reflections on for the speaker. As a speaker, it's really hard, to know your audience until your audience tells you. And so if we can kind of go down the line, and I see you, Miss Donna, we'll go to you first. Just your appreciation, your understanding of the information provided, and definitely any questions you have in real time while we have Angel. And so I yield to you, Miss Donna.
This has been an amazing session. Thank you, ladies. Angel, this was awesome. We have a lot of people entering, a lot of our members entering the trucking information. I'm sorry, the trucking industry. So this information is phenomenal. To lighten the load, Angel, can you tell us a short, funny story of a lost load? Or, I mean, we know with the trucking industry, communication is huge. When you have a new driver, you have to like drive it in their head that you'll just damn near murder them if they mess up your stuff and lose your load. So, can you tell us about something peculiar that it wasn't funny then, but it's probably funny now that happened?
To be honest, losing a load is never funny. Never, ever, ever, never.
Wasn't funny then.
It's look, it's just not. However, I had one driver to mess up a load. Okay, so here's what happened. He tarped the load. I got pictures of him tarping the load and all of that. However, the load still got wet, load of lumber. Um, I was in direct communication. Matter of fact, the shipper loaded the load of lumber wrong and it shifted. So the load ended up getting wet. Now, mind you, I'm in consistent communication with the broker. And a few months later, the broker came back and said, "Hey, we're filing a claim." The owner of the company was like, "Against who?" "I'm not paying a claim." And she didn't. So now we're just on the do not use list for that broker, but he couldn't even file with the TIA because most of the time companies will file against the TIA with the TIA and other companies could see it, but you just end up fighting those. The best kept secret is always CYA, and that's email, recording voice calls. Like I record every phone conversation I have with a broker so that I have verbal documentation. I I try to, if I'm not on the phone with you and I'm sending emails, keep communication so that if you do get reported to the TIA, you have everything documented and you can send it. It takes about, I think it took me about 6 months to remove the company from TIA, but it was removable. So without communication, without documentation, we would have just been screwed. However, we can't work with that broker anymore, and it's okay. That's one broker out of thousands. But the best thing to do is to CYA. Make sure I added it to our company handbook. Drivers take pictures of every load. Make sure it's secure. So, and if the load is not loaded properly, have the shipper to take it off and reload it.
That's
So
right.
we just have to do our due diligence on the front end and make sure that our SOPs communicate to our drivers what's expected so that we can cover the company and keep everybody employed, keep insurance down, and all of that good stuff, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Okay. I'm
I'm
sorry it wasn't funny, but
No, no, but it's good to hear, other stories and how you handle it and how you triumph. I mean, it's never funny. I let Nicole tell this story too. We had an incident with a driver. It so happens we had to go retrieve the truck from the strip club, but it did work out. Yes, it did work out. And you're right. Communication and being on top of your stuff is key. This has been an awesome session. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you,
thank you
Miss
so much for
Donna.
that.
All right, Jeff, I saw you had a hand earlier. Also, if you're not utilizing the chat, there's plenty of contact networking information. Please be sure to look into it, grab some freebies and discounts that are being shared there. If you have a freebie or discount you want to share, um, feel free to also put that in the chat too. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't have a comment. I was just gonna give my feedback on how outstanding this presentation was. Is it time yet, or should I hold my mute?
Oops, you're good. Go ahead.
All right. Yes, Miss Angel, this was a fantastic presentation. Um, I definitely enjoyed every single bit of it as I'm a dispatcher as well. So this is a lot of great information. And just knowing that us as dispatchers using the information that we have to be better, do better, and to get negotiations. Because I made a comment in the chat while you were doing your presentation is the person who has the most information wins the negotiations. And so and anybody that's on here watching or anybody that's a dispatcher, yes, dispatchers can't get DAT, but when you have a carrier, you can get their login information and you can still look at the same information. And so definitely take advantage of that as you're onboarding carriers and definitely make sure you are stay tuned with all of the great tools and stuff and resources that DAT has because they actually make it a lot easier for you as a dispatcher. But definitely a great outstanding presentation.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that feedback, man. Thank you. I also just put the cost of operation tool in the chat just in case for all of you all that's still on here. Make sure you guys go ahead and click that link and get access, get that cost of, and also email me. I have other tools. I have a spreadsheet to help you guys keep up with your different loads and track your loads. And I didn't get a chance to go through that, but I just have so many tools that I like to share to help you guys be successful.
Thank you. Let's go to Miss Jonique. You could give feedback, commentary, or any questions you might have for Angel.
Hey everyone, I'm Jonique Taylor, the owner of the Queen of Trucking. I have, of course, a wide range of experience in the industry. I'm about 28 years in, 25 plus years. And on all ends, the trucking side, the freight brokerage side, the dispatching side. I'm also a cross-country truck driver myself. Started driving back in 1997. And just listening to your presentation, Angel, it was a great presentation, very knowledgeable. Love to see that when people are doing presentations to actually, can inform and provide great information that can be very helpful too. So definitely a great presentation and definitely looking forward to connecting with you.
Thank you, Miss Janique. I appreciate that. Definitely. You got my email and all my remember that you can't forget Angel Lovelace on all platforms. There's Instagram, TikTok, or The Trucker's Assistant. You can't miss it.
Awesome. And then the Trucker's Assistant is one of our affiliate members. So stay tuned for additional information, resources, and another presentation in the future. All right, let's go next to Kendra saying that the access is denied right now to the Google Sheet, Angel. But let's go ahead to, and I think Natasha said she's unable to talk, and so I wanted to yield to you if that changed, but if not, um, we'll make sure your contact information is shared, and I'll hold right for a moment. All right, Natasha is okay, she is testing, so she's not available to come on. Thank you for confirming that as well. And then Jeff just said you got to ask for permission, so there should be a button. So Angel will be able to approve your access to the spreadsheet. So Katrina, are you available to come on mic with some feedback or questions?
Yes, I'm here. I was just taking in all the good information and just sitting here wondering, with me trying to get started and everything, with dispatching, I have been thinking about it for like a few years now because my husband used to be in trucking, so I got interested in it then. and I was wondering if you could get into one and then go into the other later, like maybe get into like the trucking and then do the, or is it the same, the dispatching and trucking together?
Say that one more time.
Like I was trying to decide or figure out if, say, I start my company up, um, could I just do the dispatching side, or is that all tied in together?
Miss Katrina, would you allow me to rephrase?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
She's just wondering, as far as getting started, she wants to get started maybe in dispatching, and then what are some other avenues that she could pursue as a business? Would that be a good rephrase?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, excellent.
Um, I would say, are you trying to dispatch your own equipment, or are you looking to dispatch other people? Which one are you
Like
trying?
maybe start out just to get the gist of it and get comfortable with dispatching. Um Maybe start with dispatching for a company, for with some, for someone else, and then start my own.
Okay. So complete transparency here. And this is just based off of the the whole extreme marketing of dispatching. We had a lot
Uh-huh.
of dispatchers that started dispatching for owner operators and had just taken a class and really didn't know what they were doing. And it's
Oh,
so and for me, I'm a driver first, and these guys bet on themselves when they go out here and buy trucks. So for me, I would recommend, if you want to learn dispatching, I would say get on with a company that's going to teach you how to dispatch, give you hands-on experience before starting your own, if I make sense. Like if you have a
yes.
seasoned company, like Mr. Jeff says he dispatch and he may have 10, 20 trucks. So, and if he's been in business, 2, 3 years, I would say, hey, connect with him and see if he need, or if he can train you on how to dispatch. And that way you can get hands-on experience before you start to open your own company. That's just personally because of the experience and what I've seen throughout this last 3, 4 years, if I make sense.
Yes, that makes perfect sense. I
And
just had a hard time, like um getting a start of, and maybe I could collaborate or get in contact with Jeff. But it's like hard really finding a company or someone that is actually willing to train you to dispatch. They want you to already have the experience.
okay, and
If
let me ask you this.
mhm.
Go ahead, Ms. Lotta.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, you said your husband drive?
Well, he used to drive, uh-huh. And that's when I really started looking into it, maybe about 2 or 3 years back.
Okay. So, but you also want to buy equipment.
Later on, not right off.
Okay. Um, I just would recommend, you know, taking some classes, learning as much as you can. If you can't find a company, of course, we just got to do what we got to do. So take
Right.
classes and continue education. I don't want to discourage you, but it's just
Hmm.
that I would rather you know what you're doing before you jump out there, if I make sense.
Right. Right. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And the job that I'm on now, I'm with CRST, um, the trucking company, but I'm on the customer service side. So like they call us dispatchers. We're not dispatchers. We dispatch out like Lowe's and Home Depot to come install your dishwasher and things like that. It's different with an actual 18 wheeler.
Right, right. And I mean,
Yeah.
even with CRST, with you having, you can make your resume all pretty and stuff these days with AI. You can change a little bit of wording, and you can learn. I've learned how to do so much on the go. You know what I'm saying? The only
Yeah, yeah, on the fly.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm that person. I don't like to tell people I don't know. I'm gonna find an answer,
Uh-huh.
but
Me too.
we
Yeah.
okay, and with that mentality, with that mindset, you you got it. It's just consider you're always a student. Like, I never know too much. Even I speak at events like this, I am still a student because I'm never too old to learn. So I'm learning new things now. So the biggest thing is, before you get to dealing with these owner operators who took their last thousands of
Mm-hmm.
and
Uh-huh.
get to moving their trucks, because I've heard horror stories, like real life horror stories about dispatchers. And I've even had some of those dispatchers in to be transparent with me and say, hey, Angel, I dropped the ball on this because I didn't know this, or I was doing it. You know what I'm saying? They
Mm-hmm.
quite understand
Right.
what we just went through with the framework. That's one of the most important pieces, but most of these dispatching classes don't even teach that.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Right.
I can offer, again, as AAWTA, the African American Women Trucking Association, that's our goal, is to get you into connections like this. We have a road mentorship. Ms. Jonique is our roadwise mentor, so make sure you connect with her. But this is kind of like, if I can put this analogy, you come to the library and there's some dusty books, and then there's some books because they're eye level and they might have a pretty person on the outside, they're going to always get touched and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
so, with that analogy, I encourage you, they say YouTube is its own university, check in, see what learning style you have. You got to really know and that's where Angel was kind of um, walking that out with you. And thank you for doing
Right.
that. You got
Yeah,
to
I'm
know
kind
the
of hands
angle.
on.
Mm-hmm,
Like when I'm learning, I'm hands on.
mm-hmm,
Um, rather than well, I take notes and everything, but I have to actually do it.
mm-hmm. Understood. Understood. So there's
Yeah.
plenty of resources in the chat. Thank you for participating in our association in this meeting here. This is the type of information that we give, we share. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's the next step, as she was saying. You have to, reach out. You
Yes.
have to kind of tell people where you are, and then take the information that you're getting from the people and seeing how it applies to you.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate this meeting also. It was full of um uh information, great information, and I did take notes.
Awesome. Thank you. You're also, just as we're kind of closing up here, I want to make sure that our guests get an opportunity to speak, and also know how they can be plugged in for the future events. So we have a website. It's autazoom.org. So AAWTAZOOM.org. It has the list or our calendar events for all the calendars for each month. And so if you're wanting to, check that out, see what other types of courses, usually on Tuesdays or Saturdays, um, that you're interested in, please go ahead and sign in for that. We also have a discount in the chat for 20% off any membership. So please also look into that. And I want to, and I see you, Miss Johnny, just give me a moment here to give the resources and to allow the guests to share with us so we can really kind of analyze what everyone comes to the platform for. And so, with that being said, our next person, if I can ask them, our next guest, I believe I saw. Well, Jennifer, I don't consider you a guest. You're a member, but I would like to yield the floor to you for commentary, reflections on the presentation, and if you have any questions.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, you did a fantastic job, Angel. We're grateful to have you here today. I don't really I work more on the tech side of the trucking industry. So while I love to learn about all of these things, I don't really have any questions about it. I am involved in the logistics industry and fleet and stuff, but again, it's more like tech side. So, but thank you for being here today, and I'll yield back to Lotta.
Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate it. And please also make sure you share your contact information in the chat so those can do more research on the tech offerings that you present here on the platform as a member. Kendra, are you available to come on, Mike?
Yes. Yes, again, so I'm Kendra, new member. I just actually joined, was it yesterday, day before yesterday? But I had kind of seen you all's information from, I think it was a post from the MAT that you all were a part of. And just being here, I'm located right here, actually in Conyers, Georgia, which is, right outside of Atlanta. So I said this is perfect timing and a great group, just trying to get in and get some industry insights and some resources and make and some networking. So this was right on time. Very good information because as a flatbed carrier, I do, running some flatbeds and booking loads and things of that nature. So all of this was completely relevant. So again, I just glad to be here and look forward to actually, meeting some of you and networking and learning more that I can.
Thank you, Ms. Kendra, and thank you for the feedback as well. And yes, we actually have a lot of new initiatives. There we go, including an in-person power hub. That stay tuned, check your emails, and that's how you can be locked in. Our next person here, I'm trying to, if I'm going off guess, Pamela. I see there's two Pamelas. Is that two different Pamelas? But I have just Pamela first, and then we could go to Pamela Priestley if it's two different Pamelas.
No, it's not too different. It's the same. Uh, my
Welcome.
phone messed up and my computer messed up, so I had to get on the phone. I'm dispatching or starting out dispatching, and I'm taking a class through TKK Dispatching Services. And so I'm just trying to gain more information. We also started a box truck company in December. So I'm trying to see if I can learn more about box trucks, getting loads for them, and helping me with the dispatching part.
All right. Well,
That's my
thank you.
grandson. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
All right, thank you. And thank you. We're familiar with I'm in the Texas area, so I know of TKK, Miss Miss V. I had to think. My mind just went blank. So thank you for joining. Thank you for checking out our platform as well. And so we have, like I said, a lot of resources. Please check out the website. Please check out our calendar of events. And then also membership. Membership, there's certain things that go out strictly to members only via email, so you don't want to miss those as well. Last but not least, I think I got through all our guests, and if not, please excuse me. We're going to some members, and so we have Miss Tamika Jones in our membership committee, and then we have, last but not least, our Roadwise mentor, Miss Johnny Taylor. So, TT, if you'd like to say some words.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tamika Jones. I am a member of Ottawa. Um, I've also just started my dispatching service, mentorship up under Miss Jonique Taylor. Um, I have been learning a lot through Chuck, and it's a lot of information, especially learning the different areas to, pick your loads to and from, the different prices as far as fuel, the areas. It's a lot of information, but it's very informative, and I'm greatly appreciated for Miss Angel coming on today. Fast talker, but a lot of information. Well, I picked up a lot of info today, and I greatly appreciate it for being here.
Awesome. Thank you, Miss TT, Miss Tamika, Miss Johnny.
Okay, yes. Just wanted to add actually
additional feedback for, I think her name was Katrina, who was speaking and had questions about kind of could she start in one area. And this is to any of our guests that's here on are with us today, or even current members, people who has just joined and just starting their new trucking journey. Just want to make sure that you guys know that you can start anywhere in this industry. Great thing about it with starting in the dispatching aspect of the business as a dispatching services company, starting your business, it gives you that opportunity to get your feet wet in this industry without having that liability expenses and all that good stuff. But just know that you can go anywhere you want to within this industry, and that's one thing I love about the trucking industry is that you can create multiple strings of income within the same industry. So definitely don't be afraid to start where you are. And Katrina, also know that you don't have to start with working with anyone. One thing about it, with here at AAWTA, you do have access, everybody have access to our Roadwise mentorship program. Again, I am the Roadwise mentor. I have a full program where we offer the training, the dispatching training courses. We have the industry training and coaching classes, and we have an awesome, again, mentorship program through AAWTA. So it is a great opportunity where you're not just taking a class, but you're also having somebody to stand one by one with you, stand with you, walk with you, A through Z, with everything. Also, we have access to the one-on-one meeting classes as well as the one-on-one training sessions. So it gives you that confident of knowing that you can learn this industry and be prepared to service your contractors. Also, when you're just getting started out with your business as a member, we do it together. So you're not doing it alone. So it helps you be confident about offering great services without having to go work for anyone. One thing I do fully support is empowering each other in regards to, hey, venture out, step out, make that next step, but get the help you're needing. Don't do it blindsided. But there's wide open opportunity for everyone to get your share of this industry. And if you're not a member with AAWTA, definitely get with our membership team and utilize that code for the promotion code that is offered today. Definitely sign up. No matter what level you come in, you can always upgrade. But again, sign up for the services and the membership that you're needing to get the support that you're needing. Don't try to do this business blindsided. It's far too big of an industry to try to do it blindsided. And once again, AAWTA is very resourceful community of support, full of knowledge, we have some amazing veterans in this group, as well as new people that are, again, taking this industry by storm. So once again, you guys know that this is that industry that you want to be a part of. It's not always easy, but it's definitely worth it.
Thank you, Miss Taylor.
All right, thank you. And last but not least, to close us out, and I always forget to do my quick little introduction, and then to also to formally put in our president because I know we started a bit late. So thank you for joining us on here. But my name's Lotta Love Hawkins. I'm the vice president for community engagement, which just means that, I help bring the programs, the educations that the people looking for, make sure that, our messaging is clear, that we are a cohesive unit. We have a lot of different resources and most important that we're approachable. We're about these small businesses starting off the startups, there we go, as well as the ones that are looking to scale because here in 2025 things are constantly changing. I mean, just things are constantly changing anyway, but we want to make sure the information you're getting is up to date, it's relevant, it's real, it's it's right here, and we break it down so that you know exactly how to use it going forward. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and yield to our president, Ms. Nicole Ward. And I also do trucking insurance. I always forget to kind of mention it because I do more consulting now with risk management. I teach people to become trucking insurance agents. So if that is something of interest too, feel free to reach out to me. And our membership committee, but just all these resources are available via our website, auta.org. All right, Nicole?
Awesome, awesome. Thank you again. I am Nicole Ward, your president and co-founder of African American Women Trucking Association, also known as AAWTA. Thank you everyone that took part and participated. Special thanks to Miss Angel, What an amazing way to understand, know your load. We appreciate the education. If you guys haven't done so, make sure you take down our information. And this is definitely a way to connect, learn, and grow. Also want to thank all of our leaders. All right. So our leaders are a little bit different than just our OGs. They're actually here pushing to make sure that we have an impact. Thank you to our advisory board, Natasha Jones, as well as Ms. Lotta Love Hawkins, for just being pillars in our industry, as well as the other co-founder, Ms. Donna Shepard, which is also my mama, y'all. We appreciate you guys for making an impact. Jonique, Jeff, who else is on here? That's one of Tamika. I mean, you guys are OGs. We appreciate you just being knowledgeable. If I forgot anybody's name, I'm so sorry, but just being in the background and being knowledgeable, and just being here to help our community grow and learn. And just like Lotta was saying, make sure you guys stay tuned. We have something amazing that's getting ready to happen in the city, a little bit of the city of Atlanta, okay, because it's Decatur where it's great, y'all. And you guys don't want to miss it, all right? So I'm just going to say one word that's going to circulate: Power Hub, where shift happens, okay? Coming to a city near you, but up next in the city of Decatur, Georgia. All right, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Thank you for being a part of AAWTA. Hopefully took some minutes away, right? That's all about you connection. So drop your information. We're getting ready to close now. So make sure you get your pens, paper, screenshot your phone, with using your phones. That next person that's going to help make your business better or make you better. So we thank you for being the better part of AAWTA. And we hope to see you next Saturday, everyone. Have an amazing weekend.
There you guys, the buttons. So we stay a little after as you get the information from the chat, because that information is not shared outside of the live environment. So just staying open. If you need to go back through the chat, if you wanted to ask someone that's still on here a question, feel free to do that. Make sure you get all the information that you need before parting for today. But thank you again for showing up and being here. Thank you, Angel. Again, top notch as always.
Andrew, you still here?
Hey, go ahead.
Hey, this is Jeff. So with the tariffs, have you that's here now and the rest that's coming into play within the next few months, have you been seeing your area or your market shift anywhere yet, or is it still about the same?
The entire market is shifting tremendously. I'm actually recommending diversification, especially with dry vans. I got guys that's been hauling dry vans, and dry vans are really common. So, like I've got guys that are transitioning from because they priced out of the dry van market. You know what I'm saying? So when your cost of operation exceeds what the market is offering, and there's no other alternative, I recommend, hey, leasing on to another company. I got a guy that I recommended that to because he had priced out, and he had 3 trucks at the time, and now he's scaled up to 6 trucks, and he's hauling intermodal. So there are other options, but the biggest thing for me is being able to diversify your operation. And that's something that I help guys with, as far as doing the cost of operation, understanding where your money is going to help, facilitate the next move, if that makes sense.
Yeah, perfect sense. Perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because I got good portion of carriers out of Ohio, and um I'm just getting them prepared. Like, when things get tough, um, don't panic. We're gonna get through it, and we're gonna pivot beforehand and do some different things. But most of them are power only anyway. So just getting them ready for different ventures, A lot of times, just speaking with not just them, but speaking with other carriers, they have so much social media experts that they don't really want to listen when somebody's coming with some real knowledge or whatever. So uh, it's difficult at times, but still pushing through it.
You said that these guys are running power only.
Yeah, they're power only. It's quite a few power onlys. Some of them I'm dispatching, and some of them I'm just like consulting for them and giving them guidance.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah,
Get a trailer.
yeah. I've been telling them to get a trailer.
Yeah.
Our actual connect that I have with getting them trailers, he was in Georgia. He actually moved all of his trailers to San Antonio, Texas.
All
But
right.
telling them they need to get a trailer. They need
I
to get a
got
trailer.
I got you. I'm about to drop some trailer contacts right now in the chat. You got Fleet Equipment. They've got multiple locations and they have a ton of trailers. You got to think about it. So you got so many companies going out of business right now with
Yeah.
everything going on.
Mhm.
So these trailers are being returned, right? So now it's perfect time and you don't have to run power only. You can go ahead and, get a trailer so that you won't be, doing the whole I can keep the trailer 7 days because that hurts your bottom line as well.
It
Uh,
does.
running power only. So I would recommend go ahead and getting a trailer because you got to also keep in mind you say they out of Ohio. Ohio is
Yeah.
a high consumption state, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
that means that there's a lot of freight going into Ohio. However, coming out of especially with a van, coming out of Ohio, you have to move a little strategically. Like for me personally, with a van out of Ohio, I don't go south. I go east. So I leave Ohio and go into, Massachusetts or Virginia or something like that. Now, the flip side about going into one of those areas out of Ohio is that you're going into another high consumption zone, if I make sense. But it's tricky because you can't go west. It's only so far west you can go with
Right.
a van because there's no freight out west for a van, basically. So it's really one of those things. Getting out of Ohio, you have to position the truck in an area where there is a ton of freight. And I tell everybody, Memphis is the hub. You come down to Memphis, and I would probably head haul into a high freight zone and then start my maneuver from there. But being in high consumption zones, you're going to have large fluctuations and you have to be strategic with where you go once you move. But definitely get a trailer um on those power only guys. It kills the bottom line.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate that. Yeah. Jot down that information when you drop it in the chat.
Yeah, matter of fact, I'm trying to drop these Fleet Equipment, and there's a Lighthouse Truck and Trailer Sales. They're out of Kentucky.
Okay.
You also got DST. I'm trying to think of companies that don't require you to pay mileage on trailers. I know Kentucky, Lighthouse Trailer Sales, guy named Chris up there. He's very good, great guy. And Fleet Equipment here in Memphis, you got Joe, Mr. Joe. I deal with him a lot. And the one in Mississippi, his name is forgot his name, but he's really good too. So those are just off the top of my head companies that I can think of getting a trailer from right now because they got a influx of trailers in.
Okay. Yeah. And I know that I forgot the name of the company that just said that they're about to cease operations after 40 something years. It was on
Davis, yeah,
Freightway. Yeah, I know they said they're gonna be selling off their equipment too.
yeah, that's also refrigerated freight.
Mm-hmm.
So, and to be honest with you, reefer freight it's sad. I've never seen the reefer market as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reefer and it shocked me as well when I saw that. I was like, wow. But when I looked at the did an analyst on the freight rates, reefer freight paying about the same as dry van freight almost.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that's a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of big changes coming with the tariffs and stuff that was already not here with the freight. So I looked at something I was looking at that said it's about to dry up big time on the West Coast with the containers coming in. So they're gonna be looking for other means to support themselves. And that's just gonna put more and more carriers behind the eight ball, especially if they don't know their operating costs.
To be honest with you, it's even though it seems like a waiting game, um, I'm optimistic about it because the thing about it is, and this may sound overly optimistic, but I see things a little bit differently. A deal has to be made. This is a
Oh yeah.
capitalistic country. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, and our president ego is bigger than anything. You know what I'm saying? He hates to lose. I don't believe he's going to allow it to go on. You got to keep in mind when the pandemic happened. You know,
Hmm.
look at, like, if we history leaves clues. So a gate is going to have to open. He's not going to cripple the entire economy because of his ego. Nobody's
Yeah.
going to allow,
Yeah.
companies aren't going to allow that. You know what I'm saying? Right now
And he
we're
doesn't want that on his resume. He's gonna
right,
say he wants it to say, "Look what I did. I
right,
saved America." So yeah, you're absolutely
right,
right. Definitely.
right. So right now we're just in the nook and the cranny of it. But you know, if guys out here can just sit tight, turn the TV off, man. Stop watching the news. Don't feed into the rhetoric. Everything pan out. Like, you know, that's the reason I said we gotta, you know, speak what we want to happen, you know, and do what we can in the process. Like, we know that we can get some trailers. We know that we can position our trucks to be profitable, utilize the tools that are offered out there. And like I was just telling everybody, man, to be honest with you, spend the money on the tools. Rate view helps getting that. And if you got to carry it, because I know sometimes dispatchers have a hard time with getting access to those higher ranking load boards. Go ahead and talk to one of your carriers and see if he will allow you to pay him to get it, because when I tell you it pays for itself, it changes your negotiation leverage like almost immediately. And if you got some guys that want to work together, that's looking for a partner, you get more with more trucks. The more trucks you have, you get better rates because you have better leverage, you increase capacity. Or if they want to add more trailers add capacity that allows you to be able to drop and hook at some of these customers.
Angel, real quick, and everybody, I see also TT on here. We are still streaming onto YouTube live because I have to shut the entire room down, not just the recording. So
Oh,
wanted to kind of put that out there. I was just keeping the room open so people can grab the chat, which is not part of the YouTube and everything. But you guys hopefully can share your contact information once again in the chat or with one another. And I just need to close the room here because it's still on live.
all
All right,
right,
TT,
Jeff.
go ahead. Which question? TT, go ahead.
Okay. I know she was saying something, Angel, you were saying something about the fuel surcharge. Was that with every difficult load, or how would you base on giving them a surcharge with you know, I guess with what has to happen with the load in order for them to get the fuel surcharge?
Nothing has to happen. I asked about the fuel surcharge during negotiation. And
Okay.
you know, like I said, everybody's not going to be honest about it. They may say, "Oh, it's already included." And if the rate
Hmm.
isn't where I need it to be, I just, you know, keep it pushing. Like, it's just, you know, I just always ask about it because
Okay.
it's necessary, you know.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you again, everyone. So, everyone's pretty active on Facebook. If you need any additional information, reach out direct. If you didn't capture someone's information that was part of the group here today, you could reach out to me, Lotta at AAWTA.org, LADDA at AAWTA.org. All right, you guys have a wonderful afternoon. Talk to you again.